Hey everybody, it is Adam here with One Man's Perspective. Just wanted to come and talk to you today about something that I've been ruminating about for the past few weeks since this came out. Basically, what we're going to talk about today is a tweet that was, or what is being viewed as a controversial tweet from Mohamed Elneny, midfielder for Arsenal Football Club. This came out on what I'm looking here, looks like May 15th, so it's been about 3 weeks since this came out. But essentially, this was right in the height of the Israel-Palestinian conflict recently, and he is Egyptian first and foremost. He's Muslim first and foremost. But he basically put out a very simple tweet that simply said, "My heart and my soul and my support for you, Palestine." Nothing in my mind that is controversial for that. Simply stating that people, who are in Palestine honestly deserve to be treated with respect and have support from those within the Muslim community, but also for those who are allies around the world. What bothers me is the response from commentators around the world about this, but also from what looks like one of the sponsors of Arsenal right now, the Lavaza Group, basically have contacted Arsenal about his pro-Palestinian imagery as well as sentiments. My question is, if he had been like, you know what, my heart and my soul and my support for Israel, would there be any controversy? I don't think so, because essentially the world has given a blank slate and a free pass to Israel for many, many years to do whatever they want to the Palestinians without any form of repercussions. I understand the reasoning behind all of this. It's a deep-seated guilt for what happened during World War II with the Holocaust. As somebody who is Jewish and who was born and raised Jewish, I get that guilt. I understand it. I acknowledge that is something that has been a consistent issue with politicians and the world at large for a very long time. But the problem to me with that is that there needs to be a sense of equity as it relates to what is and is not allowed under international law and humanitarian law. And the fact that Israel on a day-to-day basis breaks international law and is never held accountable because of the fact that in the UN Security Council, the United States vetoes any resolution against Israel at all times and essentially silences Palestinian voices whenever they can, as does other people, other groups and countries within the Security Council. It seems to me that there's a very one-sided approach to this issue, and it's very unfortunate that the Palestinians seem to have no voice. Am I saying or justifying any of the actions of Hamas or any of the other groups who have carried out rocket attacks in Israel? No, not by any justification. I feel those are not productive in any possible way, and essentially is furthering the conflict that has been going on for generations. Do I feel that accountability needs to be held on both sides? Sure, of course, I totally do. Do I feel that the politicians both in Israel and in Palestine currently have their people's best interest at heart? No, I don't, not even remotely. I feel that they have their own interests at heart, just like most politicians do. What bothers me, though, about the fact that Arsenal was contacted by Lavaza Group, who I know honestly nothing about. I know they're a sponsor for Arsenal, and they were concerned about his pro-Palestinian support. Again, it seems very one-sided. As far as I know, in most of the world, freedom of speech is something that is allowed. So if freedom of speech is allowed, why is it seemingly only allowed for pro-Israeli stances as opposed to pro-Palestinian stances? So for me, my question is, why can't there be an equality of free speech? Honestly, hate speech is considered free speech in many parts of the world, and that's something that I personally detest. But essentially, if free speech is free, then it should be free for everybody to speak. And that's the problem with this statement, is that the Lavaza Group have basically denied or tried to deny Mohamed Elneny his right to free speech. this also brings up other points of activism amongst footballers or athletes in general in the world. Is this something that they should be doing? Is this something that they should be utilizing their, visibility as athletes and as role models to do activism? There was a discussion a while ago. There was a Twitter battle between, LeBron James and Zlatan Ibrahimovic about activism and visibility of athletes, raising their voice for causes that they believe in. LeBron was for that. Zlatan Ibrahimovic was not. I personally think that if you have visibility, if you are somebody who's in the news, who has essentially influence, that you should be using your influence for positive things, and if Mohamed Elneny views being visible and trying to use his influence to support Palestinian cause and Palestinian rights, then he should be able to do that. Unfortunately, they tried to silence him, and as far as I know, nothing has come of it beyond the fact that Lavazza Group has contacted Arsenal. There's been discussions between Arsenal and Mohamed Elneny. There's been discussion with the Football Association to see if there's any repercussions or fines to Mohamed Elneny and Arsenal. We'll see if there's anything that comes of it beyond that. But for me, this is something that should not have been controversial in any way whatsoever. And it is problematic for me as somebody who supports football, supports, the right of Israel to exist, as well as Palestinians to have their own rights to self-determination and freedom of movement and so on. But again, we'll come back to this at another time. I just wanted to bring this up as something I've been ruminating on for a couple weeks. And I just want to say thanks for everybody for listening, and if you have comments, by all means, please get back to me. I'm open to all comments. Just try to keep them respectful. And also, if you enjoyed what I had to say about, activism and amongst athletes, or advocacy in athletics, then please subscribe. Please get back to me with comments so that I can continue talking about this topic. Thanks so much, guys.